a silhouette racer des. That is Japanese for this is a silhouette racer, and I think it's an anticipated car that I think a lot of us have been looking forward to. This is from Inno64. I believe it's their first resin vehicle. It's of a special car, but before I talk about that car, I want to talk about the history that led to this car. So back in 1982 and 1983, there was a Japanese racer, Masahiro Haseme. He drove a Skyline LBWK I believe it was, and he won a few races in Japan. He won 7 races over those 2 years in this car, and it gained a lot of fanfare from the Japanese racing fans. He was racing against like BMW M1s and stuff like that. So this obviously influenced the owner of Liberty Walk, Kato-san, and he made an homage car in respect for this racer, Mr. Haseme. So that's the car we're going to be cracking open right about now. So there's actually 2 companies making this car, coincidentally releasing them at about the same time. And I actually went to a store and I took photos of the 2 to compare, and I'm going to post those up. And so this is Inno64 again, but the other one is called CM Model. And they both have good and bad to them. The CM Model has super thin plastic windows, more like a handmade model, whereas I think this Inno64 is like injection molded windows. But the downside of the CM model is it looks like it has decals, where I'm not sure about this one. The graphics on this one I think looked a little bit better. And also the wing strut supporting the rear wing on this model is super thin. And you'll see in the photos that the other one is it's a lot thicker. I think both cars look awesome and would fit in anyone's collections nicely. But if I had to, since I was lucky enough to actually have a pick of the 2, I decided to go with Inno. So here's the legal jargon: don't eat this, that kind of stuff. Okay, nice box by the way, pretty strong cardboard, so pretty nice. And then a respective plastic case that's nice. Doesn't seem to be any tape holding it together, so let's see. You gotta be really careful opening these cases, because a lot of times they just jerk open and the thing goes flying off, and the last thing I want to do is break this model. Wow, what is going on? It's seriously wedged in there. This base has like a faux leather on it, so I'm afraid I'm gonna tear it. Boy, I don't know. I might have to actually pause the video and come back. Oh, here we go, here we go. But you get an idea of how tight this is and how careful you have to be removing this if you purchase this model yourself. By the way, I can't really say this is a cheap model, but I'm curious what Inno64 is doing now with these resin things. So okay, so here we are. Can't take it off the you can take it off the stand, but I don't think I'm gonna. I think it looks too nice. I don't want to get my fingerprints all over it. So let me angle the camera down as usual. Get the spinny me go around out of here so we can get some really tight shots here. So this is a really nice placard here. You know, it's got dimensionality to it. I'm touching it. I think it is metal. I think it's a little cool to the touch, so it must be photo etched, I imagine. But that's really nice. And then again, you got this faux leather here, and on the top, I guess so, it must be stitched, right? It's stitched with this red string here, so it's a fancy base, Inno64. I mean, it's nice, it's impressive. I'd kind of rather just save some money though and just have a nice model car. But I guess a lot of people would probably keep this in the case. I guess, yeah, alright, never mind. I'm being super critical. I tend to be more critical the more expensive a car becomes, by the way. So I want my money to be well spent. I don't like getting ripped off. I'm sure you guys don't either. Okay, so some information on this car now. This is an ER34. It's not actually a Skyline, which I think would have annoyed a lot of people, purists, you know. So this is just an ER34 that was modified by Liberty Walk. And there's a 3.1 liter upgraded engine up front here, and it's actually running carburetors. And so this is not a street legal car at all. It's just a track only car. Okay, so let's talk here. Look at that exhaust tip. That's the first thing I see here. Really nicely done. Is there some depth to that? Let's see. Mr. Dental Pick says what? Yes, there you go. So it's not just black paint. That darkness you see is actually dark air, so that's very realistic. We got the Advan printing on the tires, looking really sharp. You got a brake system in here. And that's another thing I noticed that was different with the CM model. It had red calipers, and I think they're in a different location slightly, so I'm not sure which is more accurate, to be honest with you. I didn't check photos of the real car. So this one has black calipers. Okay, maybe I'll make a comment there and research it later. Okay, so we got a little vent in here, and yeah, it's going in there. Right, so that's some depth there, and there, although it doesn't go very far in. Okay, I see what's going on now. Hopefully you can see. There's a little black grill in there. It was hard to see with the naked eye, but there's some plastic here, and it's actually textured. It's like a grill. It's probably the same going on here. Yep, there you go. You can see that, right? So there's actually a textured black piece of plastic simulating a grill, so that's very nice. I'm sure that's quite realistic to the car as well. Look at these mirror inserts. Yes, it's kind of hard to see because the car is red. It's reflecting red, but there is a silver insert there. Maybe you can see there now, right? So that's a tiny piece of plastic that was added. So, okay, still continuing on. I like how this thing is slammed to the ground. The tires are riding up well up into the wheel wells. That's just the Liberty Walkway. They added these little vertical fin strakes in homage to the 1980s car. Okay. Let's see. Alright, let's go to the back. I mentioned the comparison. Look how thin this wing strut is. Super thin. It's got to be like a piece of metal. Whereas the other one, the CM model, I think it was a little wider and it might have been made of plastic. So I feel this would probably be more realistic. I probably should have looked at photos of the real car before I went and purchased this, but it's more of a spontaneous purchase. Okay, so we got this diffuser here, vertical strakes, and you notice it's not a glossy black like this glossy black on the body, and some sort of lint. Okay, we have some plastic inserted lights. Okay, I do feel that probably there should be white there for the backup, maybe in the center of those. I might be mistaken. Maybe they're all red on this modified car. Okay, let's go around to this side. Any problems? No, I don't see anything. You notice the graphics are really well, sharply defined. And again, why I chose this one, I don't see any sort of that clear wrinkliness that makes me think it would be a decal. This is actually printed on, I think, like a tampo print. Whereas the CM model had that clear wrinkliness because I think there's waterside decals. Actually, here on this rear wing, that's what I'm talking about. That's a waterside decal. In between the white lettering, that clear is the decal. So, that's not perfect, but I think it was also a decal on the other model. This is a decal. You can see the white clear, the clearness there, the wrinkly. But looking at this thing, that's got to be a tampo print. And this as well. Ooh, so if I was really nitpicking, which I guess I should be for the cost of this model, that S is messed up, right? That's not well done. Shame on you, Inno. Shame on you. Okay, let's go here. So we got a textured here and these grills here. And what's going on there? Yeah, another texture there. We have some, oh, these are actually plastic inserted lights. They're not paint. In the camera I thought they were paint, but now that I look at it with the naked eye, those are actually pieces of plastic, those amber blinkers. And then look at the headlights, really cool. I can see, some sort of like detail, like light buckets behind that lens. Alright, so let's see, I'll try to zoom in for you guys. I don't know if this camera's that good. I guess, yeah, there you go, see? You can see light bucket detail. So that's pretty impressive. But man, that Nissan logo, that is messed up. Darn. Oh well. Okay. So, alright, what else is going on? Defroster lines, that's another thing I seem to nitpick on. A lot of models have super thick defroster lines, but these are acceptable. They're pretty thin. And those speaker boxes maybe there. Slight bit of orange peel on the rear trunk, but the roof seems pretty smooth. Look at the reflection. Not much peel there. Alright, so now we're wondering about the interior. This yellow Cusco roll cage and some red bride seats. Let's see what we can find here. So definitely you got the red seats. I don't see any harnesses though. Or no. I see some printing there on the seat. That must say Bride, the brand. steering wheel there on the right side, and the center dash there. It's definitely something going on. I can't tell if it's molded detail or a painted details. Let's try to flip it around and see from the other side. If I cast the light in from over here, is that better? I don't know, but I see a little shifter knob, and that's what's going on. Hopefully the YouTube will show better. My camera screen is not very large, so it's really hard for me to tell. Okay, but the roll cage is really nice. I mean, look at that. Look how thin that plastic is, that yellow roll cage. So that's good. I think I see like a seat belt there. No, it's like a buckle, a hole for the buckle, but no actual belts. Very interesting. You would think there'd be like some printed on seat belts or something. It's interesting that the dashboard is glossy. I think that might be painted. Just see the orange peel on the dashboard? So I think that's actually a painted piece of plastic or something, which is interesting. I'm not sure why they wouldn't just cast it in black plastic. Oh well. Okay, so now you'll notice if you look really close to the windows, I think these windows are injection molded, whereas the CM model, they're the flat pieces of plastic with some black painted on them. But you can see the height difference with the black molding around the glass. But it's still, I think, the same piece. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on a second. Is that a black separate piece, I'm wondering? This molding. I don't know. Looking at the back, you can see there's a raised black molding. I initially thought this was all one piece of plastic and the molding was painted black. But I'm almost thinking now, this black molding is glued onto this plastic window. Because see, if you look at the window, there's still a black graphic right here where I'm rubbing. On the underside, on the back side of this piece of plastic is the black molding. And then on top of it is a three-dimensional piece of molding. Or that's what the impression I'm getting. So wow, if that is the case, these might be the nicest windows I've seen in this scale as far as the amount of detail effort goes. So wow, really cool. Alright, so I suppose, well, let's see here. By the way, this thing is supposed to be rolling on 18-inch by 11-inch wide wheels, but unfortunately, since I'm not going to take it off the base, it's hard to see how wide those tires are unless Mr. Flashlight helps us out. Let's so go to the ground. I can't even get light under there to see how wide the tire is. Nope, that experiment's not working so well. Well, maybe there you can see the width of the tire. Okay. Alright. So, what do I think about this model? I think it's great. Except for the Nissan logo, which is a pretty important logo. Like, the quality control, you know, if you're going to charge more than two times the cost of one of your other cars, I think it's justified that your consumers, your buyers like me, should demand perfection. I think this should have not been released with that printing gone wrong. Or you just have to charge less money. But yeah, again, I mean, you're charging more than 2 times as much as a regular release car. So I think most people would expect perfection, right? Oh well. Well, anyways, hopefully you guys can learn from my buying decisions, or perhaps in this case maybe a mistake. Overall I'm still pretty happy I have this car. I don't even like black cars because a lot of the details vanish, but I was thinking, I'm not sure what kind of other colors that could be released in this. I mean, this body kit was specifically made for this livery. So will Inno release this same casting in different colors? I don't know. If they did, they would look nicer, but they probably wouldn't have all these racing tampos on there because they wouldn't be like the car in real life. So that's why I went ahead and bought this, because you know, I just don't know if Inno's going to release this casting ever again. Okay, so you know, make up your own minds. I'll add the pictures, and we'll catch you around. Catch you later.